Watch someone stub their toe on a table right now in your head. Picture it clearly. Did your own foot just flinch a little? That wasn't random. Somewhere in your brain, a part of you just experienced that pain, even though nothing touched your foot at all. No injury, no contact, no reason for your body to react, and yet it did. So here's the real question. What part of your brain doesn't know the difference between watching pain and feeling it? This story starts by accident in a lab in Italy in the 1990s. Researchers weren't even studying empathy. They were studying monkey brains, tracking which neurons fired when a monkey grabbed a peanut. Then something strange happened. One of the researchers picked up an ice cream cone in front of the monkey. The monkey didn't move, it didn't reach for anything, but the exact same neurons fired, as if the monkey had grabbed the ice cream itself. The monkey wasn't acting, it wasn't imagining a memory. Its brain was firing the exact same grabbing signal just from watching someone else do it. Scientists called these cells mirror neurons, and once they went looking, they found this same mirroring system in the human brain too. Only in humans, it turned out to be far more powerful and far stranger than anyone expected. Here's the part neuroscientists didn't see coming. When researchers scanned human brains while people simply watched someone else get poked with a needle, the same pain processing regions activated as when people were poked themselves. Not similar regions, overlapping regions. Your brain doesn't just recognize that someone else is in pain. In a very real, measurable way, part of your brain briefly experiences it too, which means that flinch you feel watching someone else get hurt isn't sympathy in the way you probably think of it. It's your own nervous system quietly rehearsing the pain as if it were happening to you, and it gets even stranger. For most people, this mirroring stays mild, a flinch, a wince, a tightening in the chest. But for a small number of people, this system doesn't stay quiet at all. There's a rare condition called mirror touch synesthesia. People with this condition don't just imagine feeling someone else's touch, they actually feel it. If they watch a stranger get touched on the cheek, they feel a real physical sensation on their own cheek, in the exact same spot. Researchers tested this in a lab. They touched a stranger's face while a mirror touch synesthete simply watched. Then they asked the synesthete to point to where they felt touched. Again and again, they pointed to the exact mirrored location on their own face, despite nobody touching them at all. For these individuals, the wall between what happens to me and what happens to someone else isn't fully there. Somewhere, the mirroring system that's supposed to stay quiet in the background turned all the way up. Which raises an uncomfortable thought. If a small change in this one system can make someone physically feel a stranger's touch, how much of your own everyday empathy is running on the exact same wiring, just turned down low enough that you never noticed? Let's go back further because this system doesn't start in adulthood. It starts almost immediately. In multiple studies, newborn babies, some less than an hour old, were shown an adult sticking out their tongue, and these babies, who had never seen a face do that before, who had no idea what a tongue even was, stuck their own tongues out in response. No one taught them that. No one could have. This wasn't learned behavior. This was a mirroring system already running before the baby had even been alive for a single day. Some researchers believe this early mirroring system isn't just about copying movements. It may be one of the very first building blocks of human connection itself, the raw material that empathy, learning, and even language get built on top of. In fact, some scientists have proposed that mirror neurons may be tied to how language evolved in the first place. The same brain region involved in mirroring hand actions sits right next to and overlaps with a region involved in producing speech, which means the same system that makes you wince at someone else's pain might share its roots with the exact system that lets you understand a friend's sentence, predict their next word, or finish their thought before they say it. Pause on that for a second. The reason you can practically finish your friend's sentence, and the reason your body flinches at someone else's stubbed toe, might not be two separate abilities. They might be the same ability, aimed in two different directions. So if this system is so central to connection, to empathy, to understanding other people at all, what happens when it doesn't work the way it's supposed to? Some researchers have investigated this question in relation to psychopathy. Certain studies have found reduced mirror system activation in individuals with high psychopathic traits when watching someone else in pain or distress. Now, this is genuinely complicated territory, and scientists are still debating exactly how much of empathy comes down to this one system versus dozens of others working together. But the pattern itself is striking: weaker mirroring, weaker emotional response to someone else's suffering, which suggests something quietly profound. Empathy might not just be a personality trait, a moral choice, or something you either have or don't have. At least part of it might be a measurable physical process, neurons literally firing as if someone else's experience were your own. Think about what that means for something as simple as watching a sad movie. When a character on screen gets hurt and you feel a genuine lump in your throat, that's not just emotional. Somewhere in your brain, a small rehearsal of that pain is actually running. It's why horror movies make your heart race even though you're sitting safely on a couch. It's why watching someone almost fall makes your own body jolt to catch them. It's why a stranger's tears in a video can make your own eyes sting for no reason you could ever fully explain. None of that is you being too sensitive. That's a multi-million-year-old system in your brain, quietly doing exactly what it evolved to do. So why would evolution build something so strange, a brain that partially feels what other creatures feel? The leading theory is almost unsettling in its simplicity. Understanding another creature's intentions, pain, and next move used to be a matter of survival. A brain that could feel a flicker of what a predator, a rival, or a family member was about to do had a serious advantage. In other words, your ability to wince at a stranger's stubbed toe on a video exists because, for your ancestors, correctly predicting another being's pain and intent could be the difference between living and dying. An ancient survival tool, repurposed thousands of generations later into something you now call empathy. Which brings us to something worth sitting with. Every time you've ever felt a flinch, a chest tightening, a lump in your throat because of something that happened to someone else and not to you, some part of your brain briefly forgot the difference between the two of you. Not because you're weak, not because you're too emotional, because somewhere in your skull a network of cells has spent millions of years learning that other people's experiences matter enough to feel, just a little, as your own. And once you know that, you can't really watch someone flinch, cry, laugh, or wince the same way again, because now you know what's actually happening underneath it. Not just sympathy, not just imagination, a real physical echo, running quietly through your own nervous system every single time. So the next time your chest tightens watching a stranger get hurt on your screen or your own foot flinches at someone else's stubbed toe, don't brush it off as just a reaction. That's millions of years of evolution deciding in real time that this other person's pain is worth feeling too. And maybe that's one of the most quietly beautiful glitches the human brain has ever produced. If this changed how you think about the last time you flinched at someone else's pain, that's exactly what this channel is about. The invisible systems quietly running your everyday experience without ever asking your permission. Before you go, try something. Next time you're with someone, watch closely the next time they get startled, hurt, or surprised, and notice what your own body does without you even choosing it. Then come back and tell me in the comments what you actually felt. Because somewhere in that answer is proof of exactly how connected your brain has always been to everyone else's. Subscribe if you want more of these, because the next one might reveal a system in your own mind you've never once noticed running.